In your book, you say Black femininity must not be exploited, ignored, and punished. Dr. Monique W. Morris. I have read the book, and I'm ashamed to say that I haven't handed it to my wife to read. But as soon as I get home tonight, I'm passing this over to my wife to read because we want to learn from this and construct a world for you know, it's as progressive and intersectional as I think I may be. Uh, I have carefully crafted a world to raise my son in the most positive and trauma-free environment as possible, and it was second nature to me. I didn't even have to think about it. I knew what I needed to do, and I have every day since my daughter was born. I have been thinking, how do I? I don't know how to do the same thing for my daughter. And I've looked and leaned to my wife on how do we create a trauma-free world. That may not have been the language that I used, but that was the intent, to make sure that we were able to raise her in an environment that's best for her to blossom and to be a carefree, intelligent young woman who is as free in this country as I'm fighting for my son to be. I knew how to do it for my son. I didn't know how to do it for my daughter. And I want to thank you for this book because it helps me to understand the problem a lot more. So I'm definitely going to pass this over to my wife. And I want to encourage my listeners to pick up the book, Push Out the Criminalization of Black Girls in Schools. Dr. Morris, thank you so much. I want you to get the last word and just tell everyone how they can get up with you and where they can reach you. I found you on Twitter. We need to get you at least 25,000 followers on Twitter. We need to do that. But just give some closing comments and tell us how to give it up with you.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you acknowledging and being vulnerable in this space because that's often what it takes for us to really move past the silence.
Mm-hmm.
I have had many interactions across the country in different cities, and each of them I take with me as a gift. And one of the more powerful questions that I often receive from men is, that how do I get engaged? I think women are often clearer about how they get engaged because they were once girls.
Mm-hmm.
But for men, sometimes it is difficult for them, and they say, well, I don't know, I can't really speak on the girls, I can't really speak on the women.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I have been encouraging men to do is really to do just the opposite, to speak on the girls, speak on the women, right? Speak with boys about the women, not in a
Mm-hmm.
way that reinforces negative stereotypes, but that really engages in the exploration of the oppressions that we've been talking about on this show. So I deeply appreciate you being a case study in that space and really
I'm
bringing
willing.
yourself forward in that space. I appreciate that. I can certainly be found on Twitter at Monique W. Morris. My organization, the National Black Women's Justice Institute, is engaged in several projects that are working to interrupt school to confinement pathways, alone and in partnership with the Georgetown Law Center on Poverty and Inequality, and several other partners in this work. So I can be found at nbwji.org or moniquewmorris.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the book. Thank you for joining us. I will be reaching out to get you back on just to further this conversation with my audience and so many more. I can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. And we'll be
Of
speaking with
course.
you soon.
No, thank you. Thank you so much for having me on.